Well,
Because I'm kind of pro like that.
well, I'm recording now, so
Alright, welcome to the Ramble Express podcast. It's the podcast where we ramble at an expressed pace, or expressively.
and we're actually missing someone today. Who?
We?
Yeah, you know, um, if
Darren Duvix?
not that. If you've been following this podcast, then you'll know that Chase is a reoccurring guest, but he's actually not online this time, so we have someone
So you
else.
got me instead.
Yeah,
So we have Xavier instead.
yeah.
Yeah, hi. I'm not Chase for this episode.
Okay.
Oh no, he's actually Chase, but he just transformed into Xavier.
Yes, that's what happened.
So what do you have today?
Oh yeah, well, apparently Joey's got a rant about something.
Yeah, we'll wait for that.
Well, okay, one thing we could talk about: Club Nintendo shutting down, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I never used Club Nintendo, so...
well
You're missing out.
my brother had an account, and how long did it go on for actually?
Beginning of Nintendo DS.
Seriously, wow, that's
Yeah, it's been going on for 6 years apparently,
dang.
and now they're shutting it down, but they're replacing it with something else.
Yeah, Club Nintendo was a nice little was it a nice little like thing?
Thing.
It's a loyalty program for
Yeah.
those who
Pretty much.
for those who don't know, it's a loyalty program where you register Nintendo products on there, and you get coins which you can use to get all sorts of cool stuff like posters, or you can even get eShop games if you have a 3DS or a Wii U.
Yeah, and so you pretty much register as many games as you can, like all the games you have that are Nintendo related. I'm pretty sure the third party stuff doesn't count. And then you can use your stars to buy things. Well, not really buy things, but you can use it to get stuff.
Yeah. The
I'm
most
still playing
expensive
Dark
thing I
Chronicle,
got,
by the way.
like, the most expensive thing I got was a Game and Watch, but now I lost it.
Aww.
Yeah, I know it sucks. I lost my Game and Watch, and it's like a collector's item.
Yeah, that is. I would love to have a Game and Watch just to say like, oh, I have something really, really old.
Yeah,
But it's brand new.
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but still.
It's like when people say, "Oh, it's so weird playing with an NES controller that's not like broken and dirty."
Yeah. But I mean, I was thinking of getting one of the DSiWare Game and Watch games on my 3DS to like compensate for that. I'm like, nah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, they're gonna be replacing Club Nintendo with something new
Yeah.
that's coming on the way.
I wonder what they're actually going to do because some people have said that the rewards could be better for Club Nintendo, so that's probably going to be the main reason why they got rid of Club Nintendo in the first place, to try and make something that's more rewarding, I guess, and more,
I guess so.
yeah, you know.
Like, if you have a Club Nintendo account, you get Mewtwo DLC free.
Yeah, and the Smash soundtrack.
Yeah. So I would like more things like the Mewtwo thing, because that is a really awesome thing they did.
Yeah.
So I can see where people are coming from when they want more things like that. So I'm hoping that that's what they plan to do for this next thing, wherever it will be called, that is.
Yeah.
So like, Club Nintendo is just works perfectly. I don't know how you can top that name.
No.
So they probably could, but still,
Yeah.
probably won't feel the same.
Nah, probably not. Because first there was Nintendo Fun Club, now there's Club Nintendo. What do they call this one? New Club Nintendo?
You?
everything's new nowadays. It's like it started with New Super Mario Brothers. Now it's Yoshi's New Island, and now you have New Club Nintendo.
No, it'd be New Super Club Nintendo Wii U Deluxe Edition.
And Knuckles.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yes.
Basically.
How would that work?
I don't know.
Because
It's Nintendo, they'll find a way.
Nintendo logic.
Yeah, because that always works.
Yeah, this is
And they're finally going to be releasing Flipnote Studio 3D.
Oh, I can't tell you how long I've waited for that thing. I had so much fun with the original Flipnote, and it was really
I haven't tried Flipnote.
it was really painful waiting for that long.
Yeah, they said, like, I remember when they said we were going to release it long ago, like in the summer of 2009 or so. Well, we're releasing it now. Sorry about that. Please understand.
Please understand. So, seriously, it's been so late.
It has. But better late than never, right?
That is true. And
Is that what people are going to be saying about Half-Life 3?
the Flipnote is the only reason I still have my DSi. So if I want to check out Flipnote for a little bit, I go to my DSi, and that's the only reason I have it.
Indeed.
I didn't have a DSi, so I kind of missed out on Flipnote. But since they're releasing, since there's going to be Flipnote Studio 3D, I'm going to get that.
Oh, definitely. Hopefully it should be free, but if it isn't, then hopefully it's not too expensive.
No, I don't know. I think they said they're going to be giving it away for free for Club Nintendo members.
Oh, that's nice.
Clip Nintendo members, so that's what they're calling it.
Clip Nintendo.
Clip.
Featuring the Microsoft paperclip everyone hates.
Yay!
I actually found this really funny, was it this weird website? It was like Windows something or other. And then when you went on Word, it just had the paperclip just die.
Yes.
And when you tried shutting down, she's like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you really sure? You know, you could be doing something really worthwhile."
Could I? Yeah, actually I could. Maybe I can do that when you let me shut down.
That's funny. Yeah, this episode is going to be a lot more casual, considering there's not a lot we can talk about. There's not too much that's been happening recently, so...
No, not really. I mean, the new 3DS is going to be coming out.
Yeah, it's funny how much stuff is being released during February 13th.
Mm-hmm.
I said this off screen, but it's like the completely opposite of Friday the 13th.
You have no idea how frustrating it is when I found out the new 3DS comes out the day before my birthday, and I just got my 3DS.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like it, but still
Yeah.
But still, the point is, I feel like I'm late to the bandwagon at this point.
Yeah, that is a good point. Hopefully it stays as like a DSi of the 3DS, where there are some exclusive games, but not too much. Like at this point, it's pretty much used to have an updated processor and whatnot.
Yeah, it's basically an upgrade.
Yeah, pretty much.
3DS.
If it stays like that, I'll be fine. I don't want it to have a bunch of cool stuff that won't be on the 3DS.
And I actually got to try the 3DS out at an event on Thursday.
Ah, how was
Yeah,
it?
it was pretty good. I mean, the best part was actually the face tracking 3D.
Ah, yeah, that's something I'm mostly interested in. It's nice that they have the C-Stick, but I never really used it that much for the GameCube, unless I really needed it, like Luigi's Mansion and whatnot.
Yeah, the C-Stick works pretty well. I mean, even though it's just like a plastic nub, it still works very well.
Yeah.
And like the only games we could try there was the Monster Hunter 4 demo or the Majora's Mask 3D demo. I went with the Majora's Mask 3D.
Yeah, you chose the right thing.
Yeah. Even though I have the Monster Hunter 4 demo on my 3DS, I haven't touched it once.
I have a bunch of demos on my 3DS.
And I already gave away my spare demo to Jacob.
Ah.
And then just for fun, I posted fake codes that are actually just like that's actually just numbers and letters that spell other words.
Yeah, I saw that post. It was funny.
Yeah, like Ridley is too big, and I did it just for fun, and like I did it just for fun, and Mandy apparently tried one of them out. And that's the funny part.
Yeah. But how did you find Majora's Mask 3D from what you played?
Well, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I only got to play for a few minutes because we had to keep the line moving. A lot of other people wanted to try the thing out as well.
Oh, that's fair enough. What
Yeah.
part of the game was it, though?
There were like, from when I first started playing, it was in the middle of a boss fight against this one boss with a shield who kept chanting stuff.
Oh, that's Odawa?
Like yeah, but then at some point, but then the demo ended after some point, and I decided to try from the beginning. But then I couldn't skip the opening cinematic.
I don't. From what I've seen, they've changed the bosses slightly. For some reason, they gave Odawa and the fish guy, like eyes and like eye weak points. I don't know why they bothered doing that because they didn't have that in the original. So
Maybe they just thought it was too hard for modern gamers.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look too different in terms of like what you have to do, but still, it's kind of weird. Like they said they were going to change some of the bosses slightly, but just putting eyes on them isn't really what comes to mind. But still, maybe
Another thing that, another good thing that came out of it is that I got a whole bunch of street passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's every time I go to a convention or out to town or anything like that, I usually always bring my 3DS because you're most likely gonna get like street passes up the wazoo.
Yeah. I got a lot of street passes, and because I bought MiiForce, I ended up getting a lot of exchange tickets.
I haven't actually bought any of the other Street Pass games. I only have Puzzle Quest and the
And Find Me.
yeah, Find Me.
I haven't unlocked Find Me 2 yet because I still need to get I still need to get all the hats from that, so I have to play Find Me over and over again.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm only technically I'm on my second playthrough of Find Me, but like I like MiiForce so far because I like vertical 2D shooters.
yeah, those are fun.
Wait, did you say vertical 2D shooter?
Yeah, that's what MiiForce is.
Ah, I should.
Sold.
I should
Yeah,
probably get this then.
you have to pay $5 for it though, but
Not sold.
Well,
what?
$5. How long?
Too much money.
How long is it?
I don't know. I haven't beaten it yet.
Okay.
You must have friends willing to constantly open and close their DS day after day just so you can get the street passes.
Well, do you like in Find Me? Does it have like some kind of map?
Yeah, it has a map.
Oh, okay.
So far I'm on I think level 4-3 or whatever. I don't know how many levels are in total for MiiForce. I do plan on getting the other Street Pass games at some point. And when I was buying MiiForce, there was apparently a sale to buy all of them at once in for $15. But that's practically the rest of my eShop funds right there. So I was like, no,
Yeah.
maybe some other time.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some other time when I have more money. And speaking of which, do any of you guys have Rusty's Real Deal Baseball?
No.
Yeah, I have it. I have it. It's actually pretty fun.
Ah.
Yeah, but it's probably got nothing on Wii Sports Baseball.
That Wii Sports Baseball is like the only reason to go back to Wii Sports.
For me, it's bowling.
Oh, well, that's true, but when you have Wii Sports Resorts bowling, which is a lot better, you don't really need to go back to the original.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm surprised they didn't bring back baseball for Resort, though. That was like
There's a good reason why, because they probably got sued for saying that their wrist strap broke.
But still, that was the best That was the best mode for that game.
Yeah. I still haven't tried Wii Sports Resort. I want to try the Frisbee Golf one.
I was pretty much ecstatic when the game first came out and I got it for my birthday. I was playing it so much. Like, I don't really do that now, but it's such a huge improvement.
And here's a fun fact. The golf courses in all the golf courses in Wii Sports are actually 3D are actually from the NES Golf.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's some random trivia.
Ah, okay.
So wait, what else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, it's according to the list. Stuff happening on February 13th. We already mentioned that.
Pretty much just... Well, good luck finding a Majora's Mask 3D copy.
Yeah, you probably have to get a physical copy. And yeah, good luck trying to get a Majora's Mask 3DS. Special edition 3DS, because I even saw pictures like I'm gonna pre-order that Majora's Mask 3DS after the direct, and it's gone.
Yeah, people are crazy. It's very relaxing playing Epic Yarn while doing this, because this game is really easy. So
I still get to play Epic Yarn.
Completely diminish into nothingness.
And speaking of which, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse looks interesting also.
I've seen some of that, like pretty much most of it is I've seen from the direct. But I want to try it out. I kind of want to play
Canvas Curse.
Yeah, Canvas Curse. Almost kicked the gamepad.
I think Canvas Curse is called something else in Europe.
Is it?
I'll have to look that up. Because I mean, the only other one I remember is that Kirby Squeak Squad is called Kirby Mouse Attack.
That's very close to Mass Attack.
Yeah, that is.
And that's actually the same. That's the same name over here. So.
Yeah, it's called Kirby Powered Paintbrush.
Huh. Weird. That screws me over. It makes finding the game for the European release like a lot more difficult than it should be. I don't know why they bothered doing that. Like, why do you... Especially with Kirby Wii. So
Okay, and apparently it's going to be called Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush.
Yeah.
Here in Europe.
Because screw us.
Well, it's not too different, it's just one word, but still. It's like what they did with Luigi's Mansion 2 and, was it Dream Team? For Dream Team, they just put brothers at the end of the name. And for Luigi's Mansion 2, we just had 2 and everyone else got Dark Moon. Why can you...
So it's literally called Luigi's Mansion 2 in Europe?
Yeah. So I don't get why they couldn't have just had everyone with the same name. Like just have it Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon. Why couldn't you do that?
That works too.
Yeah.
And even so, like, because you said you were going to record Wario Land Shake It at some point for us, and it's called the Shake Dimension in Europe.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what we should actually call it when we get to it.
That's a good point. I kind of prefer the Shake Dimension, honestly.
Yeah, that's another game I need to play, because I hear it's fun.
Yeah.
I remember back in my day, the only controversy between continental releases was difference in box art.
Because American Kirby is hardcore, so we used to be angry on the box art.
Kirby's effing pissed.
Yeah, basically. Except for Rainbow Curse, he's actually smiling on the box art.
Yay!
Yeah.
He's already murdered everyone.
Yeah, yes, he has.
He finally murdered everyone in the other games where he was fucking pissed, and now he's just, yay, I'm done with my mighty quest. Oh, for fuck's sake, there's more of these tosses.
Like, well, there's almost nothing for him to kill in Dreamland because all the color was stolen, and apparently that makes everything lifeless.
Yeah.
Kirby stole the color secretly. Quest over.
Plot twist: it was Kirby the entire time.
I also like that bandana Waddle Dee is the only Waddle Dee that Kirby doesn't attack.
Yeah. I wish he was in Smash Bros. He would have been awesome in Smash.
That would have been awesome, actually. Like bringing in the spear gameplay.
Yeah, they're doing yeah. Or even if he wasn't playable, it would have been nice to see him as an assist trophy.
Yeah. So I could easily see the bandana Waddle Dee being a character because just like having the spear and whatnot. That I feel that could have been really easy to implement.
Yeah. Yeah, and even being technical.
Wait, what?
And being technical, that Waddle Dee technically did debut in Kirby Superstar. If you want to go through that.
I see.
Yeah, he was in the Megaton Punch minigame.
Well then that makes more sense because we have the Great Cave Offensive.
Yeah.
Which is also from Superstar.
Yeah, Sakurai really loves to favor Kirby Superstar over any of the other Kirby games.
Yeah, you can really
Can I
know.
just point out we're technically off topic?
We've run out of topics.
There's one more topic.
Oh yeah, the rant thing. Never
Yes.
mind.
Well, I'm afraid on how long this is going to take, but you want to go ahead and start because it's your rant.
Right, so what we've basically been talking about for the most part of this week is video games at the moment suck. They've sucked for the last generation and they're going to keep sucking further on.
There are still some good ones, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's still good ones, but 2014 was the most disappointing year for video games ever, unless you were a Nintendo fan.
That's true. Like,
basically,
that's pretty much why I stick with Nintendo because they still make like quality titles, no matter how like meh the sales are for their console.
yeah.
So like no matter what happens, they still develop like what they've always done. Like, and they don't have any problems with knowing that they're completely different from their competition. So
Yeah, they do whatever works.
yeah, they pretty much just do what they pretty much just keep doing what they've been doing for all this time.
It's like what Johnny said in his Mario 3D Land review. They go by the philosophy of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Pretty much. And I don't have a problem with that because they are doing, in terms of games, they make some of the best games on the market. So
Basically.
because everyone else is pretty much generic shooters. Well, I'm not everyone. I don't want to ridicule like everyone, but
Yeah,
for the
and even Nintendo. Yeah, but even so, Nintendo's gonna get in with the whole shooters with Splatoon.
well, even still, that's they have their own take on it. Actually,
Well, Splatoon's a third-person shooter, which is a neglected system, so...
and they're also putting their own spin on it. Like,
Yeah,
when,
Inklings for Smash 5.
yeah. So even when Nintendo, like, I guess for lack of a better term, joins a bandwagon with a certain genre, they still put their own like twist on it, and it makes you feel like, yeah, this is Nintendo, you know?
When they did DLC with Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, you can you can haggle with Rusty to get the price lower because you can haggle with Rusty to get the games at a lower price rather than paying $4 plus tax.
Yeah. Also, like, usual boxing games are usually kind of generic, but with Punch-Out, it's more of a puzzle game, honestly.
Once you know their moves, then it's kind of easy.
And that's what makes Punch-Out so fun to play. It's like, once you know the patterns for an opponent, it's so much fun beating them.
Yeah.
And you don't really have that in any other boxing game.
No, they're too realistic.
Yeah, that's the problem with... a lot of games nowadays are trying way too hard to be realistic, and I think
Yeah, that
games like Heavy Rain and there was another one, I can't remember what it's called, but essentially it's just a quick time event game where you know, in like a beat 'em up, you have these certain sections where it's just like, oh, press B quickly and stuff like that. That's pretty much all you're doing throughout the whole game. I don't really understand how people can enjoy that.
Anyway, back to my rant.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to start on shooters here.
Alright.
Now, the biggest problem with all of the games going worse and worse and declining is that they're not really actually declining. It's just we're expecting better from the same thing that we get every year.
Yes.
We haven't really had anything different from Doom.
That's the main point for this, because like, the games aren't broken or bad or glitchy or anything like that. It's the fact that
Most of the time.
it's the fact that they're not trying new things. It's like we keep getting shooters and the generic stuff we always see.
Why do you think the MLG internet meme exists?
yeah.
Yeah.
It exists for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of Meme Run. Why does that game exist?
I don't know. How did
Because Nintendo wanted something on their console that no one else had it.
why would you want?
that's actually basically what happened. They tried to greenlit the game so many times, but then Nintendo just gave in.
Yeah. It's like, screw it. We're gonna have the most stupidest thing on our console.
Outside of Flash game websites like Newgrounds and Max Games,
It looks like it would be better off if it was a Flash game, to be honest.
I'd probably.
actually be hilarious if that was actually made using the Crytek engine.
Wow. I probably
But
would.
that would tell you just the fact that all of the games are just graphics.
Yeah. Illuminati confirmed.
Indeed.
X-Files theme.
I probably will. I'd probably get it just for the lols.
Yeah, me too. Probably. I get it just for the hilarity.
It's not even in the UK anyway.
Wait, I'm pretty sure they'll get it. They'll
Look at some point if
Yeah.
if the
At
sales
some point.
100.
Yeah, of course it's gonna have high sales because kids are buying it.
Exactly. And they all want to be the MLG 360 no scope hard scopers. Wait, hard scopers?
Well, I'm not surprised kids are buying it because of what the game is.
Yeah,
I don't really need to explain that.
me neither.
So we should play that at PronyCon.
Oh, I
God,
saw
that would
a
be
fun
hilarious.
video while waiting for the podcast to start. Thomas the Swag Engine.
Oh, I think I heard
It's a
that.
thing.
I think I heard that on SoundCloud.
Swag. See how many swag points we can get.
Anyway, so back to my point. I'm going to tell you, without spoiling anything, in Doom, exactly what Doom is.
Okay.
And this is, if we've got viewers, we're going to have fanboys just flock to this video and say, oh, but, and I don't even care. So, long story short, Doom, your generic soldier guy 1, unless you look into the backstory, and then you've got Doom guy, which is the guy, he is amazing. So basically, generic super soldier guy 1, and you have to fight from A to B to get to the end of the level, until you reach enough end of levels until you get a cutscene, and then the theme changes a little bit.
Right.
Where the cutscenes are basically just text balls, but yeah. And then you fight this massive battle at the end. Call of Duty, it's stripped down in comparison, just for no reason. I'm going to compare it to Call of Duty Black Ops 2 because that is the last game that I played because I only played Black Ops 1 and 2. Hello, fanboys. Anyway. As someone is tapping a baseball bat next to me. Okay, so Call of Duty Black Ops 2 in specific, you start the game and it's cutscenes.
How long?
Well, 3 seconds because no one actually watches the cutscenes. No one even actually plays the campaign, actually, funny enough. But anyway, so after the cutscenes are over, you're fighting through a horde of bad guys. And then you get another cutscene. Rinse and repeat until the end of the game. Except the differences are, there's button prompts, no end boss, and the story sucks.
So you just keep getting cutscenes, like, constantly.
Yep, finish a mission, cutscene, finish a mission, cutscene, finish a mission, cutscene.
How long are missions, then?
Ramble Express podcast guy who we can't be bothered to remember his name, or even comment because he's already covered all the bases. There's this other side mission stuff. Yeah, and? What's your
It's side
point?
missions. It's not important.
No, it's not the main game.
How long are missions, anyway?
Maybe 10 minutes.
Wow.
The side missions are maybe 10 minutes. The game in total you can finish in maybe 3 hours.
That's really sad.
I speed ran the game with all the side missions. It took me, what, 5 hours?
Huh. So if it's...
That's just because I'm not very good at games. In the long run.
Well, if it was, like an NES game or something, then I'd understand that, but...
Yeah.
In the...
Contra, and that's like 25 hours of gameplay.
But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah. Even with the Konami code, you're still getting a lot of hours in Contra.
Yeah.
I mean, most of Contra is probably dying repeatedly and reloading from checkpoints, but it's fun and you don't care.
Yeah.
Until
It is.
If a game is... If you're constantly dying in a game, but you're still having fun, then you've made something special.
Mm-hmm. Whereas
Basically.
we can compare Contra to Meme Run.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm making that comparison. Meme Run, end of 2014. You run through the game and it's basically Internet Memes, MLG Swag, 420 Blazer, Slim Shady, or whoever made those references. Doritos and Mountain Dew. Don't blend those, by the way.
Wombo combos.
Yeah.
And you basically play for 10 seconds and you're dead, and you play it maybe 100 more times, and you've wasted what, 5 minutes of your life?
And you've wasted $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's $5 for 5 minutes of linear entertainment.
I can kind of excuse it because of how stupid it is anyway.
I'm just using it because it's the closest thing we have to Contra graphically.
I guess.
Hmm.
I've never actually
I mean,
played a Contra
back
game.
then, with the console limitations, we had maybe 25 hours of dying repeatedly and having fun. Now we've got... If you
Yes.
spend 25 hours on this game, you are very, very sad, and should probably jump off a bridge with a bungee cord strapped around your neck.
Wow.
Guys, unfortunately, I can't stay for the long. I can't stay for long, unfortunately. But I think I've gotten my 2 cents worth that I did in the podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have to leave pretty soon, so I guess I'll talk to you guys later.
Alright, see you later.
Alright. So yeah.
Bye. See you guys.
Well, that's one person down. So it's basically episode 1, except this is going to be much longer.
Yeah. It's so weird because that was recorded ages ago.
Yeah, and that was a whole 15 minutes of a pilot episode.
So now it's just going to be us, how we usually are in a call.
Yay! Okay, so where was I? Yes, Contra. You would get loads of hours of gameplay out of that, where Meme Run, which is basically the same game except without a gun or enemies, and it's basically just annoying and distraction kills you.
Pretty much. At least the game is randomly generated, so you're never going through the same course.
Yeah, but it's randomly generated in like here's a chunk, here's a chunk, here's a chunk. And if you played the game 100 times, you could count how many times you started on the same chunk, and it'd probably be something like 25 times.
Even then, the chunks, if you will, aren't that different from each other.
I have watched several people playing through Meme Run, seeing as I can't actually get the game, legally or illegally. Don't ask. And I have found that there is this zigzag sort of jump thing, and within the second run, maybe 10 seconds into the second run, you will always see that piece.
I see.
So what genre shall we tackle next?
Well, there's the whole fact that, well, we pretty much said that companies or developers even aren't really like focusing on making like original ideas anymore.
Oh no, I've got another one we can bite on.
What's that?
Survival horror.
Ah, okay.
Because this is the easiest one we can do.
Okay.
Resident Evil 1, scary. Resident Evil 2, scary. Resident Evil 3, scary. By the way, I've only ever actually played Resident Evil 3. I wasn't really scared of it because I'm desensitized by all the crap that's in the mainstream media now. Aside from that, I can see why that would be scary because zombies literally come out of nowhere. I mean, from what I remember of what I played on my brother's copy on his PS3, you can get it on the online Sony store. And what I saw was, I walked past this car maybe 20 times. And then I'd done this one part of a mission of the main storyline, because this is a linear game, except you're running around and you don't care, you're just thinking what's going to happen next. And then maybe the 21st time I walked past it, zombies just burst out of the door. The door explodes off, knocks me over, and then zombies climb out.
Wow.
Okay, I don't think the door knocked me over, but I do remember 2 zombies coming out from this burning car that I'd walked past 20 times.
Yeah, that is how you make a horror game.
And then I also remember my brother playing through this bit where you've got 2 choices. You can either... You've basically been attacked by zombies and you've been knocked down this hole. You're grabbing on for dear life. You've got 2 choices. You can either try and climb up, or you can drop down. But as you climb up, you die because a barrel hits you and knocks you down the hole. But as you drop down the hole, you survive because the barrel didn't hit you. And it's a deep hole and there's zombies at the bottom of it.
But then Resident Evil isn't really horror anymore, it's more of an action game now.
Now, Resident Evil 6, from what I've seen, is basically... Actually, no, Resident Evil 5, because I've seen more of that.
Okay.
It's basically just... Oh, by the way, this game is super controversial, and everything I say may sound racist, but it's actually in the game.
Okay.
I think. So, it's basically a genetic virus. It's not even zombies anymore. The movie's better than the game, and the movies are horrible. But actually, not horrible if you don't know anything about the games and you just want to watch a movie. And you want to see the thrills and the action and be, yeah! But then again, why aren't you watching Transformers?
Explosions, the movie.
Yes! So, anyway, what happens is there's this virus and it's getting transmitted in the air. And it's the only way they try and make it scary is, oh, you've only got a pistol to start with and everything's too expensive to actually buy if you actually want something good, so you're gonna get wrecked all the time.
That's just artificial difficulty.
Exactly, it's not fear, it's like, fuck's sake, why don't I have enough money to buy the shotgun? Which, by the way, when you get, you are op. Unless, of course, you're fighting a boss. And then I think in one mission you get a sniper rifle anyway. And that's like, Oh, well, where's the horror then? All I have to do is hide in a spot where the zombies can't get me, or it's not zombies, where the infected can't get me, and I just have to pop their heads off and they fall over because they're not zombies.
I just want
Zombies.
another era where it's like the N64, PS1, PS2, GameCube kind of thing. Because
Yeah, I want another PlayStation 2. That's the console I want.
especially during that era, that everyone was like trying really hard, trying to like figure out new things and whatnot.
Also, I'm gonna bite on the consoles now. The console wars. Anyone who's like, oh, back in my day we didn't have console wars, you're an idiot. Shut up and listen to me. Okay, so with the console wars, they've started since the beginning. Since the Odyssey, we've had the console wars. Because after the Odyssey actually died through old age and not being a very good console comparatively, but it was the first console, so you can't argue it.
Okay.
And also, next thing I need to buy on. The console wars have been going on because bits. So I'm going to skip past Atari because that's technically not a bit console, and say Nintendo versus Sega. 8-bit consoles, and then Sega said, no, we've got a 16-bit console. And then Nintendo's like, yeah, we can still drag this out for another 2 years, you know, and we're still a better console than you because your music sounds terrible. Comparatively, Sega's music was actually pretty good, but
Yeah.
it only really worked with metal. If they wanted to have an orchestra, it would just sound bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that is why the console wars are still going on today. Because they've always been going on.
Yeah, and also console wars actually help companies rather than not, because it makes them strive to become better. So
Well, no, now all they do is strive to get that 60 frames per second 1080p.
yeah, but if they did care, then it would benefit them, because then you're striving to become the best in the industry, which forces you to become better.
Also, the Wii U, everyone keeps saying, and they're still saying it, that the Wii U is not a next-gen console.
All I want to say is, if the Xbox or the Xbone and the PS4 are next-gen consoles and the Wii U isn't, please show me the games. Then I'll
Yes,
talk.
where are these magical super games that make the console better? I had this argument with my cousin about what is the best console about in this era, and that got so convoluted and bullshit. I was just like, I cannot be bothered with this crap anymore. It basically started with, we went to one of my friend's parties because me and my cousin had another friend anyway. So we went to our friend's party, and when we came back, it was basically, what's better, the Xbox One or the PS4?
I hate it when people do that.
I had to say the PS4, regardless of what was going on in this situation, and me sounding like I like my friend more than my cousin. No, it's just the console. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, how did
so
you
that's basically
react?
how it's convoluted and bullshit.
How did you react after that?
I kind of just let it go and have it boil over so I can just get back to life as usual.
Ah, okay.
But
So
long story short, we basically found out that the PS4, despite being they're more or less, the PS4 and the Xbox One are basically the same console, except the PS4 has better games at the moment. At the moment,
yeah.
I'm saying this to an audience that I think is holding guns to my head.
So just
They pretty much are holding guns to my head because it's like, but what about the graphics? Yes, they're pretty. Have fun with your picking of the flowers in your Call of the Duties. I'm going to play Doom and murder things, and it's the same thing, except
I don't-
less.
I don't care about graphics. Like, it's more, the art style is more important. Like, if the graphics are like high definition, all that good stuff, fine. But you have to have a good art style. Otherwise, it's kind of all for nothing.
Now, you've allowed me to segue into a very, very clever thing.
Okay.
What was it? Team Fortress 1 and Team Fortress 2.
Ah.
Team Fortress 1 was a hyper super MMO, well, yeah, it was an MMO shooter, except without the open world, because that isn't a key function in MMOs. Just going to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
So basically we've got this super high-tech thing for the time, and everyone loved it. And then there were a couple of spin-offs which were basically the same thing, but they didn't really quite work.
Yeah.
And then Team Fortress 2, the definitive Team Fortress 2 comes out, and everyone's like, oh my god, let's play this, this looks brilliant. And anyone that knows about Team Fortress 2 knows that it's basically a comic book cartoon-like thing minus the comic book. But it's sort of like that.
I do like how unique of a style Team Fortress 2 is compared to like tons of other FPS games.
And everyone says that that's got nothing to do with what drags the game to them. But it is kinda. And everyone I talk to says, yes, I know about Team Fortress 2 at least. If not, I used to play Team Fortress 2 or do play Team Fortress 2 some of the time. But it just sort of got boring after a while. Because to be fair, it does get boring after a while. Even with all the content patches, because it's the same thing over and over again.
Well, I can say that you can pretty much say that with any game, really.
But what about Call of Duty? Every year, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. And yes, how does this keep getting back to Call of Duty?
Well, it's like the prime example to use.
It is. I'm not even joking. Okay, so back to the rant. So where was I? Completely forgot.
We're talking.
Oh yeah, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Gets released every year.
Yeah.
Right, so that gets released every year. It's basically the same rehash shit, except with a prettier paint coat. And actually, I've got a very good point. Has Call of Duty ever changed its game engine to the point where you would need to completely reconstruct the game?
Apparently, Call of Duty has like 3 different developers, so they can so they are able to release a game every year. And I'm just like, why do you need 3 different development studios if all the games are like pretty much the same?
Yes, Call of Duty does actually have 3 different development studios. My personal favourite, Treyarch, because I do play the Black Ops games. And then there's Infinity Ward, who basically made what can be considered the best Call of Duty game, story and online-wise, until, well, it was the best at the time online-wise, and then onward, but that's not one.
Okay.
So there was Treyarch, Infinity Ward, who made the Dead Sheep that is the Modern Warfare franchise, and I don't know who the other one is.
I see what you mean.
But there's one other.
Yeah. And
what genre should we tackle next?
RPGs.
Other shooters, free time.
RPGs.
Can we leave RPGs for the moment?
Okay.
And let's not bother with puzzle games because those really haven't changed.
Yeah.
Actually, no. We said that about shooters the first time we went through that. Okay, so puzzle games. I really have no idea what to say here.
Neither do I, to be honest. They're just puzzle games, really. There's nothing really you can say.
Oh yes, Tetris. We can call that the definitive first best puzzle game.
Alright.
People still play that today. And there's thousands of versions. So it's what Call of Duty wants to do, but it's Call of Duty's formula done right before Call of Duty. Where it's literally the same exact game, except with one element changed every time. Just because it's so different every single time you play.
Well, Tetris is a very simple game. So
It's simple, but it's also the hardest game ever. Because no one can actually complete it.
Well, in terms of like its structure and how it works and whatnot, it's not the most complex game ever. So it's a lot more understandable that it wouldn't have that many changes for every release. But Call of Duty is like supposed to be a much bigger game.
And modern time, bigger expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone through this.
Yeah.
And now we've basically got puzzle games, which are basically the Switch-free puzzle games, like Candy Crush and Bejeweled. And what's the difference between all of them?
I don't
The
know.
power-ups?
I don't know. The models.
The textures, the power-ups, and the engine is it working on?
Yeah.
So is it Flash or is it Java?
Yeah.
The question. Or is it that new one that I've forgotten? Unity. Actually, that'd be quite interesting. Well, not really, because it'd be the same thing, but... Why are you playing it on the StarCraft arcade browser? Yes, that is a thing. It's called Star Jewels, for anyone who cares. And... So we've gone from Tetris, probably the hardest game, most played to date game ever.
What about Mean Bean Machine?
Mean Bean Machine can go fuck itself, and you know that. I mean, I'm not saying it's that bad a game. I'm just like, it's a bad. No, that game is ugh.
Well, it's not really a bad game. It's just unfairly difficult.
It's like, oh, sure, you can get through level 1. What? You want to get through level 2?
Screw you.
The only way to get through that game is when the AI is a dumbass and fucks itself up.
Or you're just like some god.
Or you're God.
Yeah. Even on easy, it's like stupid.
On easy, I can't get past level 4.
Yeah.
And I played easy just because I wanted to see how far I could actually get.
Right.
Another genre. I want to go through one more genre before RPGs.
Platformers?
Platformers. Now, I can kind of say the thing for Call of Duty and Tetris here. By going through Mario.
Okay.
Now, with Mario Brothers, it was an arcade cabinet. Everyone knows that it was an arcade cabinet originally, where it was 2 players and then it's how many points can you get before your time runs out.
Yeah.
Simple concept, jump on the Goombas and get the points and screw over your friend by throwing them into the Goombas. And the turtles, and I'm not very well versed in Mario.
Well, I see what you mean though.
And then we had our Mario 1, our definitive Mario. Now, I'm not going to consider Doki Doki Panic Mario Texture as Mario 2. I'm going to consider Mario Lost Levels as Mario 2. Because it is legit Mario 2.
Yeah, but Doki Doki Panic was just a dream, so...
Yeah. Anyway. So, Mario 1 and 2 were basically the same. And then Mario 3, you got the overworld, so they've added an element. And through all of these games, they've added new items, like the Death Mushroom, which is just annoying.
Yeah. The cat suit, the Tanuki suit, etc., etc. It's like, the formula is still stays the same, but they expand the gameplay, so it's fresh.
Yeah. So what Call of Duty should do...
Essentially, yeah.
I mean, it's difficult because it's a modern FPS and they need to figure out what should we add to our heavily modified engine to get that one more shade of grey in there. Because the people really appreciate that extra shade of grey, and then we can just rehash the same game with a different story.
Pretty much.
I was going to say something about animation teams, but back to the point.
I would also like to have more 3D platformers, because that's kind of been... There's been kind of a drought in that recently. Because like during the PS1 N64 era, there were a ton of them, like Banjo-Kazooie,
Spyro, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, and Conquer, etc., etc. It's kind of sad that they're kind of absent now because they were some of the most creative, like, games in the industry back then.
To be fair, Banjo was more of a platforming collectathon, but it's more collectathon than platform.
True. Banjo doesn't really have any segments where it's like, oh, can you make your specific jumps to go to this platform? For the most part, you don't really have stuff like that, but
Or your embryo stage in Crash 1,
yeah.
or your Cortex stage, which was like, kill me! Anyway,
Banjo is
well, Cortex was just Nitro.
well, Banjo is pretty much, it plays like a platformer, but it's a different take on the genre.
So it's basically a collectathon with a platformer's engine.
Pretty much. But do you want to go to RPGs now?
Right, so RPGs.
This is going to be fun.
Let's start at what I consider the beginning of RPGs for consoles, because I don't want to go into Ultima. Watch Spoonie's videos if you care about that, because that was pretty much the beginning. So for consoles, we're going to start back at Nintendo 8-bit
Okay.
with Final Fantasy.
Ah, that was the first game.
Final Fantasy was the first Final Fantasy, and the first open world RPG to my knowledge that was on console.
What was the first open world game? Was it Final Fantasy or something else?
Oh, it was something else.
Oh.
Actually, no. If I'm going to start at the beginning, I need to talk about Dragon Knight or something. I don't know. I'd have to bring my brother into the podcast and fuck that.
It's like...
So, Dragon Quest, that's the one. But I don't know fuck all about Dragon Quest. So, I'm just going over stuff that I know, so it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
So, it's basic shit. You've gone to the castle. You get a quest from the king to save his princess from the bastard in the other castle, which is run down and looks like shit. So basically, you run over there, you kill the bad guy, and then you save the princess, and then you get the rest of the game.
Ah. How long is the...
That's only the beginning of the game, so you've already killed some asshole and saved the princess.
Huh. How long is the rest of the game?
Probably... a speedrunner doing the game properly would probably take them maybe 100, somewhere between 25 and 100 hours. I don't actually. And that's NES.
You'd be lucky to find a game that's over 12 hours nowadays.
There are RPGs, MMORPGs on the market, subscription based, that you can beat all of the content in 25 hours.
Seriously?
Yes.
What? They're not doing their job well.
No. You expect at least 300 hours minimum for an RPG, for an MMORPG.
Yeah.
I think what's his name? Angry Joe said that about what was it? Skyrim Online. Elder Scrolls Online. I think it was like 25 hours.
Huh. How long was Skyrim?
Skyrim, if you're just doing the story, grinding through it, is
Maybe 30 hours. Open world, massive story, loads of other stuff you do that you would indefinitely get sidetracked because you're not high enough level and you just die repeatedly.
It seems like a lot of games nowadays have so much hype surrounding them, but then the developers just stop caring.
Yep. If we're going to talk about hype, we're going to talk about Watch Dogs, which I'm going to get. Alright, let's talk about Watch Dogs, because RPG is going to take forever.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs. With that hype, you expected to grow wings and a fifth nipple. Because screw the third and fourth. Because that's how much hype there was there.
It didn't deliver, I've heard.
No, from what I heard. I never actually played the game. I kind of wanted it, but I was like, I can't be asked to get my parents to spend money.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm still too young to buy video games, technically.
Well, I pretty much just use all my money to pay for what I want.
That's why you just buy things over card.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the topic at hand.
Yeah, so we've done talking about hype because that was back to RPGs.
Well, one thing I want to say, the thing about hype, I think you should have like a balanced mindset when it comes to stuff like that. Like it's
Only hype your games if you know you're going to have the content to back up the hype, and it's not going to be a 3-second thing.
well, I'm not saying you can't have any hype whatsoever, but
Oh yeah, you got to have hype to sell the game.
but don't kill yourself with it. Otherwise, you're gonna ultimately just end up being disappointed.
All of Destiny's hype basically came from what Bungie was working on this. You've got my money 3 years before it's even for pre-order.
Yeah, my friend was I actually heard about Destiny from my friend, and from what he told me, it sounded interesting, but from what I've heard and seen, it looks like a huge disappointment.
It is a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
That's why I will never buy the game.
It's like everyone thought it was going to be an MMO RPG, like not RPG, MMO shooter, but that's not what we got.
No, you got nothing like that.
Yeah, and people were expecting like a huge open world and whatnot.
No, you got a linear open world.
And from what I've heard, you can see a huge world in a distance, but you can never go to it. So essentially,
Nope,
what?
nope, you can't go there. It's literally right in grasp, and you can't go there.
Yeah, so essentially the developers are like, yeah, we know you wanted this, but you're not going to get it.
Yeah, no.
But you can go back to your thing now.
Anyway, so back to RPGs. This is more the amount of time that you actually have experiencing the game before completing it on speedrun sort of things. So, I'm going to say a game which is impossible to speedrun, and I challenge you if you can find it, because it's pretty rare now, and you really should get this even if you don't like the genre. Actually, if you don't like the genre, give the game to someone who actually likes the genre. Dark Chronicle.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Yeah, the second I started hyping it.
Yeah. When you
Now,
said...
Dark Chronicle, or in America, it's Dark Cloud 2. By the way, Dark Cloud's a good game, but it's not as good as Dark Chronicle.
Well, it is the quote-unquote sequel, even though it's technically not, but...
Well, there's returning characters like Master Utem, but that's sort of spoilerish.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, we're not talking about that.
No. What I predicted the in-game time doing everything is possibly 302 hours.
Huh.
2 because arbitrary number, but 300 because if you want to do everything without looking it up on the internet and just try and grind through the game completely blind on your first playthrough, and plus you need to do math in one stage of the game just to get 100%, and then actually it's impossible to do 100%. You should do some of the bosses. Anyway, that's going seriously off topic and just calling this podcast Dark Cloud 2 and some other stuff.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, this game is hard. This game has challenge. This game will make you want to beat it, and it has a story that you will love. Although the voice acting would be considered very dated. To be fair, it's a Japanese game. It's a JRPG. I'm gonna say that.
I love JRPGs, so that's a plus in
over
my...
100 hours of thrilling gameplay or something like that.
I love JRPGs, so that's a plus in my book.
Yeah, except it feels like a Western RPG, but it's a JRPG with all the story.
Okay.
So this is the best of both worlds with all the awesome gameplay and whatnot.
Yeah.
And also it's Final Fantasy XII's combat done right. Because I did not like Final Fantasy XII. And then we got games like Final Fantasy 15 coming out. And I'm like, okay, there's pretty graphics and a massive flashy intro. I'm not in... If there were Transformers appearing, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, directed by Michael Bay. I would just not be surprised after seeing what I've seen in Final Fantasy 15. Which is pretty much all anyone's seen, unless they're super interested.
Yeah.
The last good Final Fantasy game I can remember is Final Fantasy X, and I'm gonna get killed for saying that. Because Tidus's laugh, your scars have returned. Also about that PS2 red screen.
We talked about that in the previous one, actually.
Yes, we did. Yeah, so there's your childhood scars from the PS2 era. You're welcome. So I really don't know what to say now, because I basically said everything is going to shit, and we are in the middle of it, and unless, of course, we make a massive game company that designs it around what everyone wants, we're not getting anything.
Yeah. So we make our own independent company.
Actually, if we made our own independent company, we'd probably get the MLP license and make that one game from that we said in maybe, what was it, Podcast 3?
Maybe. I know it was like the
Yeah, I think it was Podcast 3.
that would probably cost a lot of money though, getting the license.
Oh my god, that license would be so worth it though. To make that open world in the first age of tyranny, oh my god, that would be awesome.
That would certainly be something.
Yes. Also, another thing about Dark Cloud is you like bad Japanese to English dubs from anime, you'll love this because the voice acting, as I said, could use some work.
Right, okay.
And no, it's not lip synced properly. At least it's not as bad as 06's lip syncing.
Hey, Tails,
That's horrible, but they open their mouths and talk for as long as it talks, not longer.
So, hey, Tails,
They're not
hey,
opening
Tails,
their
long time no see. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, no, it's not 06 bad, but it's maybe 5 notches below. It's in the bad category, but whatever. At least the voice actors are good at voice acting, and you don't want to shoot yourself if you hear them talking like Tidus or Yuna. Well, not really.
Or
Yuna.
Silver.
Or Silver, yeah.
It's no use. Take this.
Sounds like being a princess isn't that easy.
Well, that's Sonic.
It was bad.
Yeah.
The writing isn't bad. It's just sometimes the words don't come out right. It's a bit like recording a blind podcast. Like every other podcast.
Well, we're not supposed to be voice acting, so
I wish I was a voice actor.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So every now and then it's kind of fun just to make stupid and retarded voices.
Every now and again, but only record it if you're doing it for the lols and you want people to laugh.
Yeah.
It's no use! Anyway,
Yeah.
that was Silver's line using Sonic's voice. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't know. We kind of rambled on this for a while.
Well, that's the point.
Let me.
Ramble.
It's been an hour.
We can ramble for another hour. Caution, rambling in progress.
But good.
Should I overhype Dark Chronicle?
Huh?
Am I allowed to overhype Dark Chronicle as the best game ever?
If you want.
Right, so Dark Chronicle is the best RPG I have ever played. It's got maybe over 300 hours plus just because the sheer fun I have playing it, not even playing the story. I mean, right now I'm just grinding trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do because I don't want to go on the internet like I did last time. Although I'm probably going to have to.
Yeah.
But anyway. This game is amazing. The art is awesome. You will think everything looks shit if you've been playing PS4 games because those graphics are just sexy. But it's good for the time if you look at it like that after 5 hours. Well, 5 hours? No, I haven't even played. Actually, I've been playing the game for 13 hours and I'm at the end of the second dungeon. But that's not the point. I'm good at this game.
No autosave, and the saving feature is a little different from Dark Cloud 1. But it should get past a lot of the UI features and major differences. This game is a lot better.
Right.
It's just a little different.
I see. But is there anything else you want to say about Dark Chronicle?
Yeah.
What's that?
Where the hell do I find cloth?
But go.
No, I know where to find it because I looked up where to find cloth. I had an IGN page, but I seem to have lost it somehow.
But going back to that console war thing a while back,
Yeah.
it kind of annoys me when people say, "Oh, what's better, Xbox One or PS4?" and no one mentions Wii U, even though it has the most games out of all of them.
Yeah, it's like the Wii U has Smash Bros, Mario Kart 8, which is an amazing game. It's not, well, it's a racing game, so I don't play it much, but it's still an amazing game. It's got Smash Bros.
Yeah. Okay, I'll most likely be the one saying then. Lego City, Pikmin 3, Mario U, 3D World. I'm actually Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, Rayman.
It's still a new console, so don't worry if you can't really name that many standouts and have to start thinking.
And Rayman Legends, even though that's a third-party game, or multi-plat, I should say. And there's just a lot more to choose from because, like, you have your platformers, you have like Splatoon coming out, so you have a shooter, racing, fighting, and whatnot. And I feel there's a lot more to choose than the other consoles, because
I think it's more down to the fact that the Wii U's actually been out for a year as compared to the other consoles who were like, buy the console! There's no games for it, but there will be!
yeah. But even still, the Wii U got games a lot quicker than the other consoles. Like, the lifetime for the other consoles, for the Wii U, we'd be having a bunch of stuff, like we'd have 3D World, Tropical Freeze, Lego City, etc.
You've said these games.
Wait, what?
You've said these games.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just making a point. If the other consoles were the Wii U, then that's what would happen. But it's just like, where are the promised games, Sony? You have the hype.
But they've got Knack.
And I've heard that's terrible.
It looks good.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between looking good and actually being good.
You know, if they had Grass Simulator on the PS4, that would be sexy.
Why does Goat Simulator exist?
No, Grass Simulator.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
Goat Simulator, that's because... I don't know. Isn't that actually on the PS4?
I don't know.
I swear that got a console release.
Yeah, I think it did. It's made to be glitchy.
It's not even made to be glitchy, it's just made to be weird.
Yeah.
It's a YouTuber game. Which is its own genre now, which is sad.
So, oh, we have to pay homage to the guy who should not be mentioned, and you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Oscars, because I don't mind talking about them, and they're not Satan on the internet.
Yeah. But it's just like, what about the LPs and whatnot? People record games anyway, so what? I don't get.
Well, I'm an LPer. I'm not good at it, and I still need to render that one video of that one thing that I need to do that I've never done. I'm lazy as fuck, but I do have the video. It exists.
So if you're a follower of Joey, then.
Which we know you're not, because no one is.
Aww. Yeah, new video coming.
At some point. I mean, I put up a Call of Duty video. I'm probably going to check if that's actually gotten anywhere.
Speaking of upcoming videos, for Ponycoms we have 3 videos ready for upload. I kind of want to wait until we have a decent amount of episodes recorded, so then will be able to upload it as a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of lost track.
We could record more Ponycoms and then upload what's there.
Yeah, we kind of lost focus now.
We had focus? What were we talking about, actually?
Well, we kind of did with the whole rant.
Well, the rant was supposed to be... that's actually in our topic list, so...
Yeah. But now... what is there to talk about? Well...
This has been the podcast. Thank you.
Well, I don't know. I think people should just give the Wii U more of a chance because at this point that's the best option you can find. I'm not saying that out of being a fanboy. That's just fact. So if you want the games, then and that's what you should care about, then just go for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's all that should matter. It's not what the console can do, it's what the games are.
Exactly. And one thing, I think Microsoft actually went out and said they don't care about exclusives, but dude, exclusives are what drive people to buy your console. So,
Yeah, you've lost Halo, which was your big console seller.
yeah, like if you should have like exclusives, so then people have a reason to buy a console. Because if it's just multiplats, then why should I care about getting your console over like the PS4 or something? Because it's just going to be the same games, just like a different console. It's like Microsoft just really don't care.
What? You know what? I don't think there's going to be a next-gen Microsoft console past the Xbox One. Because the Xbox One had a rough launch with all the shit that Microsoft wanted to do that was never going to work, and they should have just been listening.
Yeah.
Even if Microsoft... I think they went out at one stage and said he quit the company and he was making all that shit as a joke just because he wanted to fuck us up afterwards. So he could say, yep, I screwed over Microsoft when I left.
Yeah, and it's also really sad because they own Rare nowadays, and they have
Yeah,
like
what's the last Rareware game? Because I don't remember that.
Connect Sports.
Connect Sports?
Yes, that's like what all they've been doing recently.
That is an insult to talent.
Yeah, it's like you have all these like really well-known game franchises like Banjo, Conker, GoldenEye, and the Perfect Dark and whatnot. You have all of these well-known IPs, but you're just not using them, and that would really help the Xbox One if they used all those like IPs and whatnot.
Actually, I think Rareware is an IP.
Yeah.
I think Rareware's actually been disbanded secretly, and it's all just Microsoft saying, we've got this IP, it's in our trophy cabinet.
That is actually a good point, because a lot, not all of them, but most of the original developers at Rare aren't with the company out anymore, so...
What was the last Rare IP that got released?
I'm not...
Was it Banjo Nuts and Bolts?
Oh, game in general, then yeah, I think it was Nuts and Bolts, yeah.
Oh my god. I don't think anyone that is still within Microsoft wants to build another Rareware game after that.
Yeah, well, the thing is they need to find the right people.
I don't even think Nuts and Bolts was that good a game in the first place. It was just empty.
Well, I played it with a friend. For what it is, it's fine, but it's not what we want. So you're
Also screwed in the beginning.
Huh?
From what I hear, you're screwed in the beginning because you're given this piece of shit vehicle,
Yeah.
and the only way to build up your vehicles is with money, and the only way to get money is through racing and winning, but you can't win in the races because your vehicle's shit.
If Nuts and Bolts was its own IP, it would probably be a lot more well received, because when you think Banjo, you don't instantly think, oh, tanks and whatnot.
No, if I want tanks, I'll go play Robotcraft,
Yeah.
which is a good game.
It's like, great, you're bringing back an old series, but you're just bringing it back. You don't want to like make it like something completely different, because that's not how something should be revived.
If you want to revive something, go ahead and revive it.
Yeah.
If you want to kill something, just say outright, alright, Rareware's pretty much fully disbanded and we refuse to make any more games. We're just quitting ourselves as a company and cutting out and taking out the profits through the stock share.
And it's really sad considering how like close Nintendo were to Rare, because like they were with them pretty much from the start with games like the Donkey Kong Country trilogy and whatnot, and then especially during the N64 era where they pretty much made the console.
Yeah, they basically said, all you others can go get wrecked.
Yeah.
And then the PS1 said, what's up, bitches?
That's another topic entirely, though, but it's like you said, it's an insult to talent, because like you have all of these previous Rare IPs and all these creative titles they've made, and then you buy them with the intent of putting all those games on your consoles, but you don't do it. And when you do, they turn out like nuts and bolts.
Also, to lighten the mood, I can make you all feel old by saying if you ever knew how important an 8 megabyte memory card for PlayStation 2 is, you are at least 4 console generations old.
Also, to rub the
Actually, 3 console generations, sorry.
to rub the Rare thing in even more, because Microsoft bought them, they told them to cancel a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, Bad Fur Day 2, Banjo 3, and probably a whole bunch of other stuff as well. It's just like, why do you?
That was, yeah.
Why would you do that? Aye.
Well, I apologise, but that could actually bring in profits. And we don't want actually good games. We want to sell all of our games on your name alone. Banjo, nuts and bolts.
Yeah, and
Okay, we've completely destroyed your title. You're no use to us. Disband you, but we're going to keep the name and stick you on one game every now and again.
yeah, and
Here's your profits.
all we got from Conker, besides Project Spark, is a remake of the original where it's just like, fair enough, but
From what I heard, the multiplayer on that remake wasn't very good.
that's what I've heard as well. I don't have experience with it, so I can't say, but I'd rather have a original game than a remake. Like, I'm not saying it's bad that the remake exists, but still, if you're cancelling a sequel just for the company to make a remake, that's silly. But yeah, it's also kind of weird because the remake of Bad Fur Day is a lot more censored than the N64 version. So it's just like, apparently Nintendo is for adults and Microsoft is for kids.
Okay, Nintendo's for adults and Microsoft for kids, but Nintendo makes all of their products kid-proof and kid-friendly, and Microsoft makes all of their products guns a-blazing, Call of Duty, Death blazing, MLG 360, No Scope 420 blazing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the adult stuff.
It's also sad. Well, a lot of adults are usually the ones that play Nintendo games, and it's the complete opposite with like shooters and whatnot.
Yeah, I could go around to. I could go down to maybe a Games Workshop and say, what did you play console-wise as a kid? If you played something, to whoever's running the store or some of the adults that are probably down there because they have weekend off and they want to pick up some models, and they'll probably say, "Oh, back when I was a kid, I played the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it had just come out. God, I feel old."
So yeah.
So yeah, it's no surprise that they're sticking loyal to their companies.
Yeah.
With me though, I was always like loyal to Sony, and then I was like PS3. I've played more Xbox 360. I like the look of Halo more than everything else. So that's basically what got me a 360.
Mm.
When I look at the PS3, it looks really stripped down compared to the 360. And then when I look at the PS4 and the Xbox One, I'm like, why?
Yeah. What in terms of like the console structure, the 360 is a lot better than the PS3. But I think in terms of games, but the PS3 is the better purchase. But that's completely up for debate. So.
Mm.
And even then, it took them a while because the PS3 didn't really have the most successful launch.
That's because of the excessive price tag that they tried to launch with,
And also,
which is why Nintendo failed.
and also because of how
No, not Nintendo, Microsoft failed.
and also because the developing for the console was really difficult.
Because they wanted to try and prevent piracy by making it impossible to develop for the console.
That's retarded. Like, well, I can.
You know, in 5 years we're going to have a PS3 emulator anyway, so it's not even going to matter.
Yeah. Well, I don't really. I can understand like getting rid of piracy and whatnot, but making it difficult for companies to develop for you, that's just you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Actually, I don't even understand that. Because name me one PS3 game that you would pirate.
I don't even know.
Because any good game sold on the multiplayer on last gen.
But yeah, that's a good point.
They all sold on the multiplayer, and if you got a pirated copy of the game, the multiplayer ain't gonna do shit for you. If you're playing it on a PC on an emulator, and there's no point. The story was probably shit.
Yeah, I'm surprised with how long we've been going through with this.
That's because it's something worth talking about, and even though this conversation's kind of old, no one's talking about it anymore. I think we're one of the first of something that hasn't been spoken of much, and the last who are speaking of something that's basically been overkilled to death.
What are the current sales of the Wii U actually? I'm curious.
Google it.
What?
I'm gonna have to Google it, aren't I?
I'm recording, so.
Yeah, I'm Googling it. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Talk about something else while I'm Googling it.
Robots are cool, I guess.
Yeah, Robotcraft. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Basically, it's sort of like Lego, except with it's not. It's really cool. You basically make your robot, and then you go into an arena and fight other people's robots, and then it's basically King of the Hill, except there's two hills, and you've got to wait a certain amount of time in the hill before being destroyed. And it's really cool. Like, it's hard to do justice, but.
Also, do any of you know about? Well, I don't know why I'm saying this. Like the audience is actually here, but do you know like what Lego did before we got like the traditional style we know today? Like we had Lego Racers, Lego Island, and all those crazy stuff because they didn't know what to do with it, and it was so refreshing because it was like something different every time. That's kind of what I want with developers.
Let me see here. It's loading and it's slow and. No, that doesn't tell me. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can get all three consoles sales up at the same time, then for comparison, that'll be good. How long do you think the Wii U will, the 8th generation in general will last for?
Well, apparently it sold over 7 million. So let me see here if that tells me the exact number. Wii U top 7 million in sales, a history of Nintendo consoles and game sales in one handy chart.
Okay.
So the NES was better than the SNES, which was better than the N64, which was better than the GameCube, which is currently, well, which are all current. Everything is currently selling more than the Wii U. But remembering the Wii U's been out for what, 3 years, 2 years?
Well, technically 2 years. The third year's just started.
So 2 years. These consoles have course their life. The Game Boy sold more than everything else except for the Nintendo DS.
Okay, that I can understand. Yeah.
The DS has basically wrecked the market. The Game Boy Advance sold a lot less than the Game Boy everything else. The Wii U was the best-selling home console.
I just want to say that's the best name.
And the 3D.
I just want to say that's the best name ever. Game Boy everything else.
Well, there were so many different Game Boy. I love how this chart completely ignores the fact Virtual Boy existed. Probably because it didn't even reach 1 million.
Probably because no one cares.
No one cares. So the 3DS has currently sold better than the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube.
How much is that?
It's not giving me exact numbers, it's giving me ish. So 43 million.
Okay, that's not bad.
And the Wii U's been about maybe 8 million. 7 million because it's like at the halfway point up between the... Actually, 10 million. I'm going to go with 10 million because it's at the halfway between 0 and 20 and there's no in-between line before that.
Okay. What about the other consoles? Like...
Oh wait, no. I've just noticed this is an interactive chart.
Huh.
So, 7.29 million. And the 3DS is currently sold 45.42 million.
What about the... How much has the other consoles sold, like PS4 and Xbox One then?
I will find that.
Okay.
Google. PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U sales. Figures comparison. There we go.
Okay.
How should we say? Store. That's specs. That's data. That was on IGN, which is not helpful in the slightest. Well, I can get images, so that should be helpful. And that's shares. 8th gen launch sales were.
I don't really want launch sales.
I think that's biased as fuck because it says the Wii U got the least launch sales. When that's not true, as far as I know. Oh, no, that was just in Europe. Global,
Okay.
apparently it's still the same.
Well, what can you find the total sales?
If I add end 2014 to the end of that. Oh, that's annoying. Please be useful. Yes, we're giving commentary on finding data figures for you. You can pretty much stop watching the podcast. There is pretty much nothing here. I will give this. For you guys, Jaffa Cakes, Daring Do Books, Alicorn Shipping. That's for you guys who are leaving now because we're wasting our time here.
Yeah. But we started this, so.
PlayStation 4 total sales 11,447,553.
Okay.
That's probably a million at the end of that. Actually, no, that was in million. Xbox One was 5,786,090.
That's a huge drop.
And the Wii U is 7,354,623.
Okay.
I think the PlayStation 4 is selling on the fact that it's the PlayStation 4 and hype.
Yeah, that's the only reason it's been selling. It's not because of...
I think most of those sales are actually originally from the launch.
Yeah.
Because it says like maybe 5,000 million sales or whatever it was.
Yeah. It's just been selling because of the hype, but it's not because of any of the games.
I think really the Wii U is going to have the highest sales rate soon. Because everyone I know, my cousin and my friend that I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
my friend has a PS4 and my cousin has an Xbox One, they're both buying a Wii U.
Ah. Oh, well, your cousin before was like, the Wii U sucks and whatnot.
Actually, no, my cousin before was more about, oh, what's so great about the PS4 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what's so great about the Xbox One? It's basically the same. And that went on and on and on and on and on and on. Joey.exe stopped working.
What made him come to the conclusion to get a Wii U in the first place? Because that's not how he... Huh?
Smash Bros. And Mario Kart.
Ah. Because the last time I talked to him about that, that's not how he responded.
It's best not to talk to those two about that as well. Jamie sort of, yeah. Also, if anyone wants to know who Jamie is, go to the Anthony Project. If anyone wants to know who my cousin is, it's Alex, and he is Mantis Gaming, I think. I don't know, I will have to check.
He linked his channel on his Skype.
Oh. Yeah, it says here my new YouTube, so I'm just going to extend that out. Click that link. And my cousin is called Mantis Gaming.
Okay. Wee. But yeah, what was it about the sales? I completely lost my train of thought. It's like, I don't know. I don't even...
Gaming channel, he has very little in the way of gaming, so there's no point in watching him for the moment. And he's going to murder me for saying that, but it's true.
Also,
he doesn't watch our podcast. Oh, watches our podcast.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, what if Alex and whatnot actually watched this and just, I'm going to kill you now.
Well, we don't do it live. I'm just going to send him a message saying I plugged your channel in my podcast.
Well, we could do it live at some point, maybe.
In the future.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And then it'll be a lot more easy to do because we can just, well, provided we actually have an audience, then we can just like sit, like start recording and streaming and whatnot, and then we'd pretty much just answer questions and like talk about things that people want us to talk about, I guess. Like, hear our opinions. No matter how stupid it may be. So you could talk about, ask like, what's happened to KFC comms?
Yeah, what happened to that? And when's that CastCon coming up? I'm so hyped for them 2 ball pits. And
we're like the only one who's gonna...
Gabe Newell, that cat. Oh my god, I'm so hyped to see him whenever that starts up.
We're like, no one's probably gonna understand what the hell we're on about.
Go watch KFC comms. It's a legit channel. It actually exists, and we are probably at some point going to take a video camera to and eat KFC. At one point, I'm going to record a KFC review for you guys and send it to Harry to put it on there, because I don't actually have a part of the account, but I'll do that just because. Also, I've never had KFC before, so this will be a blind review.
Neither have I, actually.
Yes, we can go review KFC at some point. Actually, completely off topic and completely out of the podcast. Next time we meet up in real life, we should probably, and if we see a movie or something, we can probably go have KFC with a camera. And review KFC.
Maybe.
And give it an out of 10.
I don't even know anymore.
Actually, I'll upload it onto my channel, KFC Blind Let's Play.
Do another one. You said we want to do this at BronyCon, like breakfast speedrun.
Oh yeah, if we ever get to BronyCon, we're gonna do a cereal speedrun as well. we're gonna speedrun Cheerios.
I'm just gonna. If any of you have seen the was it Crash Bandy, Spyro, and whoever the other guy was, speedrun for cornflakes, it's probably gonna be like that.
And it will be funny.
We've been laughing our heads off while eating at the same time.
That's the only reason it took like 5 minutes in that video. You know, everyone who's watching this video has basically either skipped to see, do they go to something else, or...
Or they just...
I don't know, but they've stopped. So that's basically why I said the plugs a lot earlier today.
Yeah. If you stopped watching, then... Oh, you don't know.
Ooh, find out next time
on the Ramble Express show. Although, why would
X-Files music starts playing? Illuminati confirmed.
If this was an actual TV show.
No, this is probably an actual episode of the X-Files, and we don't know it.
What would you?
No, this is a whole season of the X-Files.
Would you?
It's like, will they get to BronyCon, or will they just dick about and spend more of their savings? So we're actually doing one of the mission statements, is talk about what we're doing to try and get to BronyCon.
Yeah.
If you watch the first episode with that pre-recorded thing.
Yeah. And also the Rayman Legends thing.
Yes, if you're planning on committing suicide, please give us your bank details.
How long ago was that? Jeez.
That was ages ago. The only reason I remember that is because you reminded me a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah, I will never forget that.
I was playing StarCraft at the time.
Yeah. Oh, that was so long ago. It's crazy. I was gonna say something.
Well, you just did. You said,
What were we even talking about?
CastCon?
Well, not that.
We're talking about BronyCon, how we're planning on getting there.
Yeah.
So actually, one of the things we're supposed to be talking about on the Ramble Express, aside from rambling off everything that we're supposed to talk about.
Well, the thing is, well, that's more of a personal discussion than anything. No, I don't think people are interested in like us talking about that kind of stuff.
But what about the brony? Nah, they probably don't give a damn. Should we try and wrap this up? Because this has gone on for 2 hours now, which is our... Yeah, this has gone on for 2 hours, so we can do this now.
Yeah. I can't think of a witty way to end this, so... Goodbye! Actually, no.
To anyone who has survived this thing...
Wait, what?
To anyone who has survived this long through the podcast, buy Tilk's Jaffa Cakes, buy Daring Do books, and get it all with Alicorn shipping.
Oh no, I just remembered what I was going to say earlier. What if there was a movie where you saw where you saw someone going on YouTube and they had your channel on there?
That'd be the best thing ever.
And we'll leave you guys with that statement. See you guys next week.
You can't eat chips without ketchup. Goodbye.
That was a